Hello, good morning. Today we're going to have a few thoughts about pricing of online courses. So I was asked a question earlier on in the week and I like to come in and answer those kind of questions. So pricing of an online course, that is the subject of today's little live. Right, there are loads and loads of issues around course pricing, and I have to say there's no magic wand, there's no magic beans, and I think as much as there are all sorts of different theories around pricing, then the way I approach it and the kind of best advice I can give you is set a price that you feel comfortable and happy with. You know, I've done this with my services over the years as well. If you feel happy and confident and comfortable about the price that you have put on your course or your service, then you're going to feel so much more comfortable and happy telling people about that price. And there's this whole load of kind of psychology around us kind of asking for a price and feeling uncomfortable, and I'm not going to go into any of that. I'm not qualified to talk about any of that, but I just feel comfortable with the price that you do decide on. Now, if you're just starting out creating an online course, then that's typically the kind of one of the questions that everyone always wonders about. What price shall I put on my course? Now, the first time that you run a course is typically what we would call, I call it a founding members course. You'll hear people talking about a beta launch. You'll what else? A pilot launch, all those different terms where it's basically the first time somebody's run a course. Quite often they're creating the content, so they'll sell their course outline at a kind of quite a reduced price to get people in. You know, they may decide that you want 10 people for your founding members launch, and you'll set a price that's going to be cheaper than the finished course would be. And then, what we're doing is then creating the course. So people pay, and then you're creating the course and developing it with them. You're getting feedback. And that's a far better way to go about course development and course launch than hiding away in a room, creating something for months and months, and then struggling to find out people actually don't want that course. So the kind of founding members course launch is always a great way. And so you offer that typically at a lower price because there will be things that kind of get forgotten or missed or will be redeveloped, or because it's an evolutionary process. So it's always a good value. I love hopping onto people's founding member launches because you're usually then locked in at a cheap price for however long they're doing it. And, you have a good working relationship with that person because quite often there might be 10 or 20 of you in that founding members launch. So quite often a pricing strategy is price it at an attractive price to attract in 10 people or 20 or whatever you feel comfortable with your founding members launch. Create the course, get the results from those people, and then you have then an intention to gradually raise your price. So each time that you offer and launch that course, or to whatever period of time, you can then feel more comfortable in raising that price. That's certainly a strategy that I've been following with my how to create an online course. So I did a founding members launch for that back in September, and I'm gearing up for a proper launch, and that will be a significantly different price than what I offered the founding members for. So you can be quite purposeful about where you want to increase your price to. Again, back to feeling confident about it. So of course then there's the other side of the coin, isn't there? So you can set a price that you feel comfortable at, but is it a price at which people want to buy? There we are. That's the quite often the $64,000 question, isn't it? People will buy a course at whatever price range if they understand what the benefits are for them of doing the course and what value they're going to get out of it what value can you bring to their life? And although quite often we can be thinking about a professional course or another course on online marketing or whatever to help other online marketers to do well, then when we're looking at things like art, then I think that can be, you're running a crochet course or some style of embroidery, then you may be thinking, well, hang on a minute, Sue, how can I show the value of doing something? Well, people will attend a course to learn a practical skill for the sheer enjoyment of doing it. And so you're bringing a gift into their life because you're teaching them a skill that they can enjoy over and over again now, kind of forever. Yeah, once you've taught somebody how to do a basic crochet, then they'll be able to learn how to do all those kind of cute little stuffed animals you see, or those trendy cardigans, or wherever it is that people want to make. So don't think that just because you're offering a course or a workshop in a craft or an art, that there's no kind of perceived monetary value there. People really value learning skills. People really value that doing something with the hands and getting kind of lost and absorbed in some stitching or something creative, really helpful for people's mental health. And over the last year or so, with the pandemic, then so many people have turned to crafts as a mindful activity to kind of help them cope with all the craziness that's going on. So always think about that in terms of, people will want to buy an embroidery course or an art course or a craft course just as much as people want to go and buy a course on how to create a course or how to learn email marketing or whatever it is. The value to the person is just the same, maybe expressed in different ways. One are trying to get some kind of business benefit out of it to earn more money. The other side is that it enhances somebody's life and you're there to bring joy into their life and help them to learn another skill. So just think about it in that way as well. Of course, I've just got some notes there. So people will value your course to what it is, how it's going to add to their life. And so, we hear people talking all the time about saying, bring, show the value to them and the transformation. And again, the transformation is basically where they started, where your course will take them, and what they learn and what they can do at the end of it, and why that's valuable to them. As I say, they may have always wanted to do crochet or learn a particular skill in embroidery, or finally get to grips and learn better email marketing skills. It's also fair to say, again, back to the psychology of pricing and things, is that the price of a course really does impact upon the amount of buy-in that people have in terms of wanting to even do it, right? So I'm sure so many, we've all done it, hands up, who's bought a course because you thought it was like, oh yeah, it's a bit of a no-brainer, yeah, I'll pay the 30 quid for that. Some of them are fabulous, some of them are absolute rubbish, okay, but they're kind of quite an impulse buy, really, aren't they? You think, oh yeah, that sounds, somebody's kind of reeled you in with some good marketing, and you think, yeah, I'll go ahead and buy that. Okay, so you buy these relatively low price courses. How many of them do you ever A, even start, B, get halfway through, and C, actually finish? So there's a strong correlation. Those of us who create courses, we can see it, we can all see it, and it happens in many things. It's a known thing that basically the less money that somebody has paid for something, the less likely they are to actually start and to even finish. So that's, and really, again, no reflection of your course. It just kind of gets put by the wayside, and then it just starts to gather virtual dust and clutter up our hard drive on our computer. So there's that side of things. Whereas if somebody's invested much more money in something, then they are much more likely to show up and take part and get results. And you're interested in people getting results to help you market your course further on down the line, because then it's showing you've got like that social proof that people engage and like doing your course, and it does get them the results that they were expecting, and they're happy to tell others about it. So that's, you know, why obviously we don't want to feel as if we've created a course and nobody ever finishes it. That's quite depressing, and there's obviously then other reasons for that. But very often, basically, the more people have invested in something in terms of money, the more they are willing to invest in terms of time and effort, and make time and make effort to be able to carry on with your course. So there's another aspect of what kind of message do you want to give out with your pricing. And also remember that a lot of those kind of no-brainer, you know, something for $7 or £15 or whatever it is, those are very often part of a sophisticated marketing funnel. And you know, you pay £7 for the ebook, and then you get an upsell for something for 19, and then there's another upsell. And really what you really need is this thing at 69, and then finally you'll be offered another thing at 99. So what started off as a $7 investment can rapidly turn into something you've suddenly spent about 150 on if you've gone through all of their upsells. All right, so again, there's different reasons why people put a price on things as well, and very often the price has got nothing whatsoever to do with the volume of content, the amount of work that you've put in it. That's not where your price is. Your price is to represent the value that you bring to somebody, either in they can go ahead and learn a skill and apply it to their business and earn more money, or they can learn a skill and add to the enjoyment of their life, because you know we do need enjoyment in our life, and sometimes learning a skill just for the sake of it is extremely satisfying. So you know, people love it when you can help them to master a skill as well. Right, so that's those things. The other things that obviously affect the price of your course is in terms of its like size and complexity. Is it something that is like a 3-hour course for somebody to work through, or is it something that's going to be going over 3 months? There would be significantly different prices. The kind of level of expertise, is it a beginner's course, or is it a higher level gaining expertise? They would be a more, because there's a lot more in it. The transformation is harder to achieve. Of course, you'll have seen the so always think about, when you're looking at your price, the relationship between your transformation and the results and the value. So where do they start? Where do you take them to? What that transformation is, what have they learned, and what the benefits are, and kind of build that in. You see the typical price points everywhere. You know, there'll be things, everything ends with a 7, isn't it? So that's really kind of magic, or the 9, but 7s seem more popular than 9s. So you'll find things for 7, 17, 27, 37, 47, whatever, you know, up to 97 or 99. So you've got like less than £100 and more of an impulse buy. Then you've got kind of less than 500 is, you know, put some effort into this. It's, you know, £500 is a good amount of money. 1,000, 2,000. I've seen plenty of online courses being advertised for 2,000 by the big gurus who've all got a big team, who've worked their way through the kind of pricing ladder as they've gained momentum and gained a big audience and a big crowd. So those are the typical price points that you will see. But again, what feels comfortable to you? What's the kind of gut feel that you think, yeah, I think my course should be £99, or it should be 200, whatever it is. The main thing is that you need to also, in that setting, that you need to value your time, value your expertise, value you as the course creator. And so you want to be setting a price and attracting buyers in to generate the amount of revenue that will make your business feel comfortable and successful for you. Again, even with services, I've always said this, don't try and be the cheapest. There's always somebody going to be cheaper than you, and it's just a spiral down to despair. Yeah, so don't think, oh well, so and so, they're doing their embroidery course for 99. Oh, I'll do it for 79. Your price should reflect you and your values and where you feel comfortable, not reflecting on somebody else's price. Okay, so don't ever try and be the cheapest, because what happens then is you're not generating enough revenue to be able to reinvest in your skills, to reinvest in your time and the effort and the technology and the tools that you need to keep that course going. And then you just start to feel kind of fed up, resentful, kind of pissed off. It's not a good feeling either. So, you know, don't try and undercut, don't try and be the cheapest. Long term, it doesn't work. Let's just remember that with an online course, we are creating a valuable business asset. Okay, and the multiplier effect of having a course is astounding. So, for example, the course, my how to create an online course, I need to come up with a better name, but that's what it is at the moment, is going to be launching at £500, which is far more than the founding member price last September of £200. But even then, at £500, if you create a course and you create a course and, sorry, rather, what I was going to say is, so you join and pay £500 to create a course. Now that may be a stretch. Think about it. What course are you going to sell? You've learnt the skills to be able to sell that course. So even if you sold a course at £50 and got 10 people, there's your £500 back straight away. Let's be more ambitious. Well, you might get, 20, 30, 40. Very quickly, you have more than made back the original investment. I'm happy at that kind of price because I know that reflects on the amount of effort and time, and that it is accessible for people. My course attendees, they can very rapidly, with a small number of people, get that price back as well. So always think about that side of things too. So pricing, let's just go back on that. Yeah, don't undervalue yourself. And one of the key things about being able to explain your value and explain the benefits is having a real clear idea of who your audience is, who you're aiming this particular course at. That's all part of the price. So the price, you need to be able to clearly articulate what's involved and attract in the clear audience that you want for that course. So there we are. I shan't ramble on anymore about pricing. So in summary, then set a price that you feel comfortable at, that you can demonstrate the benefit that you bring to your course attendees. Think about the psychology of the pricing. If it's kind of too low, do people think it's rubbish? If it's too low, do people think it's part of a funnel, they're going to be upsold as well? All of these things are kind of training people in the background to be kind of wary of price and courses and things like that. So clarity from your point of view, of who your audience is and what value and transformation and enjoyment that your course brings. It doesn't always have to be about how much money somebody can earn out of it. When we're talking about art, then it's also about just the pure enjoyment of being able to master a skill finally, and being part of a group of people who are all learning the same thing is wonderful. So there we are. That's my thoughts on course pricing. As I say, there's no magic wand. If you have any questions about this, then as ever, just drop me a DM. I'm always happy to answer. In fact, this whole live was sparked off by somebody asking me a question about what price should I charge for my course, which then brought out all of these different questions. Okay, so it needs thinking about, and quite often the price that kind of pops into your head first of all, very often is the kind of price that you feel like you're going for. Right, I've got the construction guys outside there again now. I think they're going to say, there goes a digger, they're going to start digging the road up again. I'm going. I'll catch you all later, and any questions about pricing or anything else to do about online courses, I'm always happy. Just drop me a DM and I'm always happy to help. I'll catch you all later. Thank you. Bye.